Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Retold. Episode 5, Rikka and the Math Test, Act 2. That night, Kuzuha, Yumeha, Mother Togashi, and Chimera were in their apartment, when Kuzuha noticed something was wrong. "Where is Yuuta?" she asked. "He's at Rikka's place," replied Mother Togashi. "Really? Well, what is it? You curious? You want to go spy?" asked a playful Mother Togashi. "Why would I? I'm not that curious." "Oh, why not? A boy and girl alone? At this rate, your brother's gonna get snatched up by that little minx. Don't you feel that way?" "No way. And you better not talk like that or Papa will get mad. I called him in Jakarta earlier and he said, 'Whoa, go spy, just like me.'" "What a perfect couple," said an unamused Kuzuha. Over at Rikka's apartment, Yuuta was still concerned about Rikka's plan. "I'll ask you one more time. Are you truly serious about studying?" he asked. "Of course," replied Rikka. "Just so we're clear, the exam is going to be based on a T distribution, so if you want to get an average grade, you'd better be ready for some hardcore studying." "I am prepared." "All right, let's get started. First, let's try a basic word problem. Find the probability that the sum of 2 dice when rolled will be 3. You got it?" "No problem." And Rikka got to work. Yuuta said, "You know, this place is messy as usual. Maybe if you cleaned up a little." He noticed that Rikka doodled a jester holding a die on each hand. She dropped her pencil. "I don't get it," moaned Rikka. "I thought I'd understand if I knew how the person tossing the dice felt, so I tried imagining it. But this is beyond my current level. I have no idea what this person could possibly be thinking." "So basically, you're saying this is the extent of your abilities?" asked Yuuta. "No. This problem is far beneath my intellect." "Just admit you can't do it!" "Oh my god, it's gonna be a long night." "Let's try more from the front of the book." Rikka's antenna hair bounced. "So we're going to go over every single problem in the book?" she asked. "We'll start with the easiest problem first and work our way up until they get harder and harder," replied Yuuta. Rikka was quick to pull out one of her model guns from her drawer and pointed it beside Yuuta. "Who's there?" she shouted. Yuuta looked back. "But no one's there," he said. "There was," said Rikka. She was sweating. And then she slid across the floor shouting, "Yuuta, get down!" "I'm not falling for that," he replied, taking her model gun. Rikka was basically using her delusions to try and escape studying. "But Yuuta, if we keep studying, an enemy could sneak up on us at any moment and—" "That's not gonna work either." Rikka scoffed and tried to leave. "Enough messing around already!" shouted Yuuta. He grabbed Rikka and put her in her seat. She moaned in disappointment. "You did say you were serious about this, didn't you?" asked Yuuta. "I'm serious," moaned Rikka. "You said I'll try hard, so please teach me, right?" "I did. But I'm no good at math." "I have no idea what the point of any of this is. So what if you know the probability of the dice outcome?" "How is that useful?" shouted Rikka. "Don't you try to use logic on me!" shouted Yuuta. Rikka moaned again. "I don't get it. I don't get it at all." She's really falling apart, thought Yuuta. "Okay, for starters, we take a break!" exclaimed Rikka. "Are you kidding me?" "When it's over, I'll get serious!" she exclaimed. Yuuta grumbled. "I'll even serve some tea!" she exclaimed. Yuuta sighed. "Fine." Yuuta and Rikka were taking a break in her living room. Yuuta noticed that, "Your sister's not home yet?" "No," replied Rikka. "Yuuta, what do you want to drink?" He noticed some used dishes on the table. "Yuuta, huh? Oh, anything's fine," he replied while taking the dishes. So Rikka told him his drink options as she loaded the tea kettle on the stove. Chameleon plant juice, noni juice, kombucha mushroom tea. "What's with that selection?" he asked, loading the dishes in the sink. If you don't rinse these, they'll be harder to clean later. Got any dishwashing soap? But Rikka didn't answer for a moment. Why are you washing those? Why wouldn't I? They're dirty, aren't they? Plus, it's not like there's anything else to do. Rikka made a combat pose. What are you doing? Asked Yuuta. Thank you, replied Rikka. What's with you? Were you just embarrassed to say thank you? Rikka moaned and tried to kick Yuuta, but he dodged. Cut it out! Suddenly, there was the sound of an emergency alarm blaring. What's going on? Exclaimed Yuuta. It's the priestess, replied Rikka, pulling out her phone. She chose to make her phone ring like an emergency. You mean Toka, said Yuuta. Rikka answered the phone and talked to Toka. Everything all right? Asked Yuuta. A security breach was detected in the Magical Administration Bureau, replied Rikka. No lies, please. She'll be coming late, same as always. Same as always? She stays late almost every weekday. Yuuta was finally done cleaning the dishes, and there was a moment of silence. Yuuta, I haven't asked for your electric protocol code, exclaimed Rikka. Can I have it? You mean my email? Asked Yuuta. Some call it that. Quickly, initiate infrared data communication exchange. Exchange addresses? Some call it that. Here goes. Yuuta pulled out his phone and gave Rikka his email. Oh, Yuuta, your code is really cool, she exclaimed. Huh? It's cool? Asked Yuuta. I don't think there's anything special about it. Yuta's email address was divineexceedfreyaMagna@siftbank.ne.jp. This is bad. It's the same one I used in middle school, said Yuuta. Divine Exceed Freya Magna! Exclaimed Rikka. Stop it! Don't say it out loud! Exclaimed Yuuta. I'm changing it right now. Give me a sec. Rikka's antenna hair bounced. You can't! She exclaimed, and Yuuta stopped. Mine is the one that's too strange. I'll change it! Rikka's email address was rikka0612@siftbank.ne.jp. She pondered for a moment. She then said, Oh, I've got it. Yuuta, choose a code for me. Huh? I'm sure you'll come up with something better. No, I think it's fine just the way it is, replied Yuuta. Then I'll use your code instead. Don't do that! Wait, is it okay for you just to change it like that? What do you mean? Asked Rikka. If you change your email, you have to tell your friends and family, or they won't be able to get a hold of you. That's how it works. No worries. I only have to inform the priestess and Dekamori. Why them? Asked Yuuta. Because they're the only two beings who seem to acknowledge my presence in this dimension, replied Rikka. There was a moment of silence. The tea kettle, she said, was whistling. But now that I have your email, I can tell Nibutani and Kumin, said Rikka, turning off the stove. Yuuta knew what to do. He grabbed Rikka's arm and said, Let's go. Huh? But what about the tea? Yuuta and Rikka returned to her room to resume studying. I'll do my best to teach you everything, so do your best and study hard, said Yuuta. Yuuta, you want to keep the club, right? If you can manage an above-average score, I'll think of a really cool protocol code, just for you. Huh? Said Rikka as her eyes were wide with wonder. Rikka agreed and got to work. After that, it was around 1:34 a.m. I couldn't believe it either, and Yuuta went to his room to find Toka and Yumeha there. Yuuta was surprised. You sure are late, said Toka. What are you doing here? Asked Yuuta. When I got home, you two were immersed in studying, so I thought I'd just get in the way, so I left. Did you make any progress? Asked Toka. I believe so, replied Yuuta. That's good to hear, said Toka. Yumeha was writing on a piece of paper and showed it to her. Okay, I did it, said Yumeha. Toka read it, and she said, It looks like this is the end for us. She dropped it on the floor. The paper read, Yumeha and Toka are now divorced.
I will raise the children as a single mother,
said Yumeha. Toka scowled. Fine, but don't forget to let me see them once a month, said Toka. What do you think you're doing? Exclaimed Yuuta to Toka. Yumeha, what is this nonsense? Well, I thought her playing a grown-up game could use some more reality, said Toka. That's too real, exclaimed Yuuta. You're saying you have a problem? Asked Toka, pulling out her ladle. No, replied Yuuta. I've got to hand it to him for not messing with Toka. Yumeha continued to play while Toka stood up and said, Welp, I guess it's time to go home now. How's Rikka? She started dozing off at her desk, so I made her go to bed, replied Yuuta. I see, said Toka, leaving his room, passing Yuuta. I'm jealous, she continued. When Yuuta looked back at Toka, she booped him in the forehead with her ladle and left his apartment. 1 week later, Yuuta managed to keep Rikka motivated by feeding her imagination. If you solve this problem, I'll give you magic-enhancing gum, said Yuuta. Whoa! I can feel my power growing, exclaimed Rikka, bouncing her antenna hair. And before they knew it, the day of the test arrived. The students and Miss Nanase were in room 1-4. Well then, the math exam is about to begin, said Miss Nanase. No peeking until you hear the bell. Rikka looked down to her blank piece of paper. I can see it, she thought. I can see it. Okay. And begin, said Miss Nanase. Rikka turned the paper over. She began to stress and lose focus. She thought to herself. I used my magic to motivate her. Do it for the club. Do it for the protocol code. Do it for the invisible boundary lines. I believe in you, Eye of the Wicked Lord. Do it for them, I said to her. Rikka heard my call. She was filled with hope and determination. I'll do it for them, she thought to herself. First level seal activated. Magical output increased. Be banished from this world! Rikka used her imagination to see math problems and its possible answers. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it! This is the enlightenment I've searched for. This is the answer. I can see it clearly! But the imagination wore off, and there were blank answers on her paper. She banged her head on the table in despair. Yuuta could see the situation, but he had to continue working on his test. A few days later, the test results were in. Yuuta got a 62. Oh crap, he thought. I was so busy helping her I forgot to study myself. And Rikka's score wasn't any better. She scored a 52. She failed, huh? Thought Yuuta. It was worth a shot. The math teacher was mildly infuriated. You all did poorly this time, he said. The average score was only a 50. Study harder next time. Suddenly, Yuuta and Rikka's mood went up. She saved the club. Yuuta and Rikka left the classroom. Yuuta, said Rikka. We did it, exclaimed Yuuta. Rikka showed him a peace sign, and Yuuta smiled back at Rikka. I told you it was worth a shot. When they went to the club room, Nibutani, Kumin, and Dekamori were there. We have great and powerful news to you all, said Rikka. What's up, Rikka? Asked Kumin. Will the club live on for years to come? Asked Dekamori. Rikka scored a 52 and the average score was 50, which means the club has been saved, said Yuuta. Yay! Yes! I knew you could do it. That's my master! Kumin and Deka were happy with the news, while Nibutani was mildly infuriated. Well, this weird club is still a thing. Oh well, at least I'm still close to that brat, she said. What did you say? Asked Dekamori. Oh god, here we go, said Yuuta. Classic Mori Summer and Dekamori, said Kumin. Who are you calling Mori Summer, brats? Who are you calling a brat? Fake Mori Summer? And so, Nibutani and Dekamori fought each other per usual. That evening, Yuuta and Rikka were on their way home. Yuuta was walking while Rikka was skating. "Such high speeds," said Rikka. "Can't you walk normally?" asked Yuuta. "That's right, I almost forgot," exclaimed Rikka. "Yuuta, give me my protocol code." "Huh? What are you talking about?" he asked. Rikka made a sad face and dropped to the ground. Hey, I'm just kidding. I already thought of one," said Yuuta. "This is only for today, but..." Rikka looked up at Yuuta. He said in a different voice, "Vessel of the Eye of the Wicked Lord, in acknowledgement of your efforts and deeds, I, Dark Flame Master, have called upon the powers of darkness to bequeath to you a most powerful code. You would do well to carve it into your very soul. Protocol code, Engrave!" The Dark Flame Master sent Rikka a new code, and it was Black Raison d'Etude. Rikka was in awe. "It means dark reason for existing," said the Dark Flame Master. "A fitting code for you, is it not?" Rikka's antenna hair was going nuts. "So cool. It's so cool, Yuuta!" The Dark Flame Master laughed maniacally. "But of course!" "I almost got carried away for a second," said Yuuta, returning to his current self. Rikka stood up and ran away from Yuuta. "Hey! Wait a minute!" he exclaimed. Yuuta got a notification on his phone. It was from Rikka, and it said, "Thank you." Yuuta smiled and looked at Rikka, still running away. She looked back and gave Yuuta an adorably happy face. And believe me, you should have been there to see it.